Hi guys, so I'm Fiona from the Plastic Solution. During the day, we've heard about how corporations and how LGUs are doing things to address the problems of waste, specifically with recycling concepts, right? Now the Plastic Solution wants to deal with how we can minimize our waste output on the individual level, because every little person makes a difference to this monumental problem. What is plastic? Plastic is non-biodegradable, right? And we understand what the problems are towards this. When do we use plastic? Every day, so much so that we don't even realize we're using it anymore, and that's why it's so easy to dispose of it. Why do we use plastic? So we know that it's non-biodegradable, and that's problematic to the environment. We know that we use it every day, but why do we use it? This question always stumps people. Well, because it's convenient, right? It's convenient, it's cheap, it's readily available, and so that's why we use it. So how is our plastic made? There's a lot of layers towards this procedure, and it starts with extraction, right? Because it's made from petrochemicals, and oil is the #1 source. So it's extracted the way oil is extracted, which involves a lot of clean water usage, energy usage, and in some parts, deforestation. It's a very intense procedure that does a lot of environmental damage. And at the end of all the refinement, manufacturing, you get things like a single-use straw or a single-use plastic bag. So we have to consider the resources that go into something that just gets thrown after it's used once, right? So where does our plastic go? Can anyone tell me what this diagram illustrates? Plastic is commonly burned, right, in places with informal waste management. If you don't have a collection system, you resort to any means necessary to get rid of your trash. And one way is that people burn them. Are we all familiar with the smell of burning trash? Yes, which is terrible, right? Because as we know, it doesn't take much to know that when you burn trash, you're releasing deadly toxins into the atmosphere. And these deadly toxins also have adverse effects on your health, whether it's your respiratory system, whether it affects your hormones, etc. So this is one way that plastic is commonly disposed of here. The second way is that it's brought off into landfills, right? It's collected from your house, brought to a landfill site, and then God knows what happens there. Landfill sites in this country are usually poorly managed, so they're exposed to the elements. They're exposed to rain, wind, so these can create leaching into the environment, whether it goes directly into the waterways or to the ocean, right? And then the third way is directly into the waterways. So we just dispose of our trash in creeks, in streams, in the mangroves. So this creates a cycle of just a lack of traceability to our waste. And therefore, we don't take ownership of our trash. So what about recycling? We heard a while ago that so many things are coming into play because there are a lot of gaps in our recycling system. Recycling is not always the answer, because at the end of the day, no matter how many times you recycle something, it's still going to end up as trash, right? So unfortunately, this is not the ultimate solution to our problems. We really have to address output at the source. A while ago, we heard from Procter & Gamble that our GDP is going to quadruple, and that just means more buying power. So people are going to buy more stuff or create more waste, right? And this diagram is testament to that. It's the projected waste generation from 2008 until 2020. You can see the lines. The first line is for the entire Philippines. The second line is just for Metro Manila. The numbers aren't that important because they're big numbers that we can't really put into, we can't conceptualize what 4 million metric tons looks like or what 16 million metric tons look like. The point here is that our waste output is just going to go up. The problem is we have no more places to put our waste. Our open dump sites, our controlled dump sites in total are declining. And this is a trend that will continue. So what do these 4 countries have in common? aside from all the trash that you can see. Yes, they're Asian countries, right? So they're also the top 4 largest polluters in the world. You have China, number 1, Indonesia, number 2, and the Philippines, number 3. Now China, there's no excuse for China. Everything is made in China, so you can imagine how much trash. Everything is made in China. You're gonna have so much byproducts from manufacturing going into the ocean. The second country, top polluter, is Indonesia, because they are the largest archipelago. 14,000 islands. So you can just imagine that's a lot of waterways that look like dump sites for everyone, right? And then we have the Philippines, that's third. What's our excuse? Are we a large manufacturing country? We are the second largest archipelago, so we have a lot of waterways. Well, as we heard a while ago from all the corporations, we are dependent on single-use sachets, on single-use items, and everything is done for the large majority of people in limited quantities, because for majority of the people that live here, that's a daily subsistence. That's what they can afford for the day, and so that's what they use. So it's up to education to tackle this. So who are we, the Plastic Solution? We're just a group of volunteers who want to do something about all of this waste, whether it's non-biodegradable plastic, whether it's food waste, we want to do something about it. But our main goal is to eliminate non-biodegradable material from the environment. Our environment is not limited to the ocean, the forests, it's our surroundings, it's your school, it's your home. Eliminate non-biodegradables where you can, because this was done decades before that. Plastic was not a common household thing, and we can probably minimize our plastic dependency. So how we spread the message across is through networks of volunteers. Our main push here is for education. It all starts there, and then things can come after. But once everyone is made aware of the problems and the simple solutions that you can take, then that's where real change can take effect. So what do? We create awareness, provide simple solutions. So the first simple solution is a zero-waste lifestyle. So try to reduce your consumption where you can and avoid single-use plastics. So assess yourself, what is your life's footprint? What do you do on a daily basis that generates waste? Whether it's you eat a lot of meat, whether it's you use a lot of plastic, you know, the list goes on. So we're trying to create a more sustainable way of life, down to your transportation as well. So yeah, so these are examples of sustainable products, and we call them sustainable because one, they're reusable. You can use them again and again, like the metal razor, the eco bag, or the clean canteen. And secondly, they're biodegradable, so they won't persist in the environment after you use them. So the second simple solution is to segregate, and we heard again and again how important it is to segregate at source, and this will make a huge difference for the feedstocks of all this recycling machinery if we have a consistent stream of segregated materials, right? Because that takes a lot of burden out from the sorting, the processing, et cetera, especially if you have plants available all around the country for recycling. You'll be encouraged more to segregate because something can be done. They can pay you for your segregated waste. Again, RA 9003 is very important in this. So only 30% of barangays have an MRF. Only 15% of Filipinos have access to a landfill site, which is very, very low. Again, this is from the 2016 National Solid Waste Report. So when you segregate, you have your nabubulok and your di nabubulok, right? So there's something that you can do with your nabubulok waste, which is composting. Composting can be done at home if you have a garden. I won't expand too much about composting, but then there's something that you can do with your non-biodegradables or your di nabubulok. Ecobricking, right? Not to be confused with the other ecobricking, but I think this word is actually patented. So they might have to find another word for the cement mixed with plastic. But anyway, ecobricking, this is what you can do with your non-biodegradable waste. And it's still no excuse for using single-use stuff. So these are the common items that you will find in an ecobrick: plastic straws, candy wrappers, styrofoam, plastic bags. But there is a solution for each and every one of these items to avoid them entering your EcoBricks, right? So what can we do about plastic straws? How do we avoid them entering your EcoBrick? Well, yeah, okay, you can either bring your own or you can refuse. And it's great because it's just covering the tip of the iceberg of the problems of single-use plastic. But simply put, we can refuse single-use items, right? So first thing to eliminate from your life is the plastic straw. Just don't use a straw anymore because the best invention to drink is still your mouth, right? So candy wrappers and sachets, how do you avoid them? Yeah, don't buy candy, or just not as much as you used to. And with the candy wrappers, if you still want to treat yourself with a Kit Kat or something like that, then put it in an EcoBrick. For sachets, the simple solution for shampoo, conditioner, soaps is to buy in bulk. For styrofoam, plastic utensils, and plastic bags, these are common items that you get when you do takeout, so bring your own container. Lastly, cigarette butts. How do we avoid those in an EcoBrick? Just stop smoking. I guess if you love your body, if you love the environment, that's one thing that you can stop right now, is to stop smoking. Cigarette butts are notorious for urban flooding. How do you make an EcoBrick? It's very simple. You can take any PET bottle and cut non-biodegradable waste up into small pieces so it's easy to stuff. Basic guidelines is no metal, no glass, no paper, and no bio. So if you have biodegradable material inside an EcoBrick, biodegradable material will degrade whether or not there is exposure to oxygen, right, to air. And so the problem here is that when something degrades, it releases water and methane. As much as possible, no biodegradable stuff inside an EcoBrick. So you can make EcoBrick furniture, which are like stools and tables, using silicone sealant, which is a super strong adhesive. And these are really good for like elementary schools, public schools. You guys can just make as many EcoBrick stools as possible. What we do with them is we also incorporate cement, just to make them a little bit more sturdier. So this is a wall in the Circle Hostel in Zambales, in San Felipe. So just about an hour up the road, and you can see our 4,000 plus EcoBrick wall. So this is roughly 2 metric tons of waste. If you remember from the image I showed you a while ago, Metro Manila alone produces 4 million metric tons of waste annually. So that's 2 metric tons. It's a drop in the ocean, but you know, at least it's going somewhere and not into a landfill. So this is shower stalls and toilet stalls in the Circle Hostel in La Union. So again, this is covered with cement, so you'd have no idea that it was actually made with EcoBricks. Baler, Gawad Kalinga, a bike hub. This was 3,000 plus EcoBricks. Felipe, Zambales. So we work in cooperation with the ITAs there. This is Chieftain Erce. Another MRF in Marikina, an elementary school in Batangas, a compost pit. So there's a lot of things that you can do with the EcoBricks. You can make, you know, horizontal builds, vertical builds. There's just something you can do with your trash, and you don't need to like buy. So you don't need to buy the bricks made with cement. You can just use these EcoBricks for your own DIY home projects. So yeah, we receive thousands of EcoBricks. It's a growing movement, and we're trying to build more things out of the EcoBricks, whether they're public schools or community centers for LGUs, things like that, because you know, there's a lot of building going on, and maybe we can incorporate these EcoBricks just to make it a little cheaper, right? So how can you help start eco-bricking? That's the first thing you can do. It's super easy to do, as I showed you a while ago. You just cut up your non-biodegradable materials and use any PET bottle. You can start an eco-brick build, whether it's through your school, whether through your own communities, store eco-bricks, transport eco-bricks, etc. We also have plastic-free products like plastic-free, packaging-free soaps made with seaweed, and straws, bamboo straws, right? Just to try and replace the demand of plastic straws. So this is Chieftain Erse. I showed you him a while ago, and they make bamboo straws for us. And for every straw we sell, we can buy seedlings and seeds for their community. We do like a reforestation tour up there. You can actually ask for more information outside at the Mad Travel booth. We also sell shirts to support the movement. But yeah, thank you guys. I hope you learned something. So yeah, just to recap, our simple solutions are practice a zero-waste lifestyle, segregate, and whatever you encounter that's non-biodegradable, you can eco-brick. So yeah, thanks guys.